Hey guys, I'm gonna go on here again and tell you guys something. First of all, I give all the praise and glory to God, to Jesus. I watched this YouTube short, and it was about this girl that got on there, and she was transgender, and when she was young, and everybody she wanted to be called by something else, and she wanted to be called a boy, all these things, and they were telling them everything they wanted to hear. And as they got older and they had all these operations, and I give it up to this person, man. They got up and they spoke about this, how they didn't regret it because they went through it, but they're up there trying to tell others why not, not to, because as she got older, she started realizing that she wanted to be a woman. That's what she wanted to be from there on out, but it was too late. So she was trying to share to others how that is. And I myself, I had a daughter, and I have one, and I haven't seen her in about 16 years. And the story behind that is her mother caught a grudge against me or something. I can go a bunch of different ways on this, but I can only go on what the Spirit has handed me, because she's made herself paramount, that she wanted to hide whatever she wanted to hide. But little snippets along the way, I come to find out that my daughter changed her name, wanted to be like a boy, all these things. And I looked on Facebook about a year ago, and her mother was putting out this, like a GoFundMe, hey, help with this animal, this comfort animal. It cost $15,000. And what Spirit showed me was that because her mother forced me out of her life and wanted to keep that secret and all of the other secrets in her life, by not having me around because of the mother's treacheries and deceits and lies towards me, and trying to keep all those hidden, that my daughter now had, it was either she was running a game on Facebook, wanting to get money, or it was that I was out of her life and she created this, I was void, so she feels she doesn't want to be touched. She doesn't have that closeness, that separation, and all these things, and my heart just went out, right? My heart just went out. And her mother didn't have any boys. Her family line couldn't have boys. I'm serious about that. People need to realize that we need to be honest with our children. We need to tell them if they're feeling certain ways. We don't sugarcoat it and go along with it. We have long talks, not just a social thing like, oh, it's society is this new, hey, gender corrections, or gender, binary, whatever. We don't do that with our children, man. We don't push out the fathers out of the child's lives and hoping down the road everything's going to be okay. If a woman has a grudge with a man and they have a kid, don't use that child as a pawn, because when she becomes 16 years old and she's gone all to this gender identity thing, and now she doesn't want to be touched and she needs a comfort animal because of that, that's some serious psychological issues. So, parents, if you're trying to raise a child and you're outside of the house and the mother has the child, try to work it out. The mother, don't push the father out no matter how bad it is. You need to come to a healthy adult relationship to fully raise a child. I see it, and I saw the blowback all along when I tried getting closer, and I would make my effort to get in there. I would be pushed away for whatever secrets, whatever was going on in the house. She didn't want me to be able, and I know this, wanted me to be able to come in and know what's going on in the home. See, women are using the justice system, using child support enforcement as a weapon to cause that divide, and look what happens. There are women like that are getting on stage having to tell what they went through, the gender changes and all that, rather than having the man be able to come in and talk to the girl, the father, being able to tell the child, why do you feel this way? What? I can tell you how it is to be a man, and it's not all it chopped up to be. It's not, you will one day want to be a woman. You will want to one day bear a child. It's called human programming. When a woman does that by trying to use the child as a pawn and force the male away from the child and try to create, an LGBT, my daughter, it's almost like okay, yeah, I'm proving myself in the LGBT community because my daughter identifies as being a boy, because all of her sisters, she felt like she wasn't good enough for her father. You get where I'm trying to connect the dots here? So really think about the long-term effects. I have no issues against the LGBT community, none at all. I have no qualms over what people identify as. That's not my position and point in life right now. My position and point in life is to tell and waken people up to look what happens when you do this to a child, when you go along with the child's confusion rather than bringing the father in that you tried alienating for so long to hide your secrets within the house. Bring that father in, and I understand you're feeling this way. Why? What can I answer for you as a man? What can I answer for you to compare and contrast the pros and cons? See, women are using the government, using child support enforcement, even as far as DSHS as a weapon to make the man look like an evil villain, when that's not the case. Slander, accusations, all of these things to keep, it's kind of like projecting to keep all the hidden secrets. Kind of like Oz, the Wizard of Oz. He's behind the curtain. I'm the wonderful wizard. I'm the Wizard of Oz. And, what are you here doing? You need to learn when you have a child out of wedlock, which I know I'm going to be married next time I have a child, okay? When you have a child out of wedlock, you need to come together as true grown adults rather than, okay, I have all the power over here because we're not married and never were, and I'm just going to push you out here, and I'm going to use all these tools that I know how to manipulate with at my disposal to make you look the bad guy, so you're unable to come in and, in her eyes, maybe straighten out the child or something. When that's not what a father does to a child. A father really helps to mold a child and bring them along in life rather than trying to stunt them and keep them in a little box. See, that really tore my heart apart when this girl, everybody around her was, oh, yeah, not thinking of the long-term effects of that. And she went through literally her uterus being taken out, her mastectomy, couple of those, having her breast taken out, all of this, to be 30 years old one day saying, I made a mistake and I can't go back. That's brutal, guys. If you choose to have a child, you don't have resentments and grudges to the man for destroying your life when you sat down to have the child too. There's a lot of avenues. I know what went on and were trying to be kept from me, but you should not be keeping secrets like that and using the state to hide those. I know there are women out there doing that right now, and men who are having that happen to them right now. There needs to be some, not men, especially when they pay child support, are able to afford a lawyer, and the women know that. When they're getting the money that you pay out in child support to use that to get a lawyer to fight against you, that's like giving, and I did a video on this, the keys to the castle. That's like handing your keys to your castle and giving them the Trojan horse to come in and run havoc on your lives. So I implore men, we need to find some kind of way to have, I don't even say equal ground, But I'm telling you, within that first year, set as many groundworks, as big a foundation as you can, because women can do that after a year. After a year, you can no longer get a paternity test. They can literally move out of state without letting you know with your child, and you wouldn't know the difference. Sure, it's kidnapping, but you wouldn't know because they're not required to let child support enforcement know where they're living, but you're required as a man to let child support enforcement know where you're living. You get kind of like, see how this. I've gone through a lot, so I'm here to share to you how to not. And look at that, like, because I was pushed out, just look at the ramifications. I was pushed out in a lot of different ways, more than I could ever share. And one day I will put it in a book. It's that deep. But to use this, to push me out, literally, to push me out and use child support enforcement, DSHS, all these principalities to push me out. Look at the long-term ramifications of the child, because her mother's in the LGBT community, right? And what better bragging than to say, "Oh, my daughter thinks she's a boy. I'm hip. I'm current. Look at me." You get what I'm saying? And that's pretty twisted. I know that's. You don't use your child as like a dresser up, like you ever seen like beauty pageants for kids where the mother puts eyeliner on and takes some tanning and stuff, like dress them up like a living doll? It's kind of like that. And we don't need to treat our kids like that. Let them be kids. Let them be kids. Let them grow up. They're already attacked enough as they go to school. Let them grow up in who they are, rather than what we want to allow society to impose upon our children. The long-term ramifications of that. A girl, she has all the organs out of her that she could have a child, and that's almost like society winning. We shouldn't do that. And I give praise. I give praise to that girl, because she spoke out in front of thousands of people. This woman did, at where she went wrong, and society is wising up to this last 10 years. They all are. They're questioning how the beliefs were imposed upon not just the children, but everybody around, using social media, the news. We're wising up and we're getting stronger, people. We are. We're raising our vibrations. We're looking at the atrocities that were done and how can we take care of that now, patch it up, go forward and learn from our mistakes. We're not perfect. We're fallible. There was only one man on this earth that was perfect, and that was Jesus. And he died a gruesome death for us on the cross. But you know what? All he wanted us to do was to live better, live and take care of one another. Don't live in archaic times. Don't live within archaic programmings. You're able to not conform. Don't conform. Don't be cookie cutter. Be a trendsetter. Be a curse breaker. Be an example for the next 10 generations to come on how to live a prosperous, good life. We have one ticket in this life to ride the train. Don't you want to be a good one? I do. All right, guys. Good night.